Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Everton versus Aston Villa, Goodison Park. 6 o'clock kickoff on Thursday. This game's gone from being sort of a bit of a nothing game to a very, very important game for Aston Villa. Not much in it for us, but for Aston Villa, a very, very important game as they strive for survival in the Premier League.
Yeah, won the first game in 10 at the weekend.
Good stuff.
To give themselves a chance. But I mean, you're saying it's not a big game for Everton, but it is a big game for Everton because there's a bit of pride that needs restoring for the last 3 performances. You know, we came out of lockdown with 7 points out of the first 9. You know, and you could argue we should have had 9. If Tom Davies' shot goes in against Liverpool, it's the post. Come out with 7 out of 9 and have dragged ourselves remarkably into a position where there was a possibility of a Europa League place. And then went and lost at Tottenham, and that performance was flat, and the other 2 performances have got worse. Southampton wasn't very good and Wolves was dreadful. So I think this is a big game for Everton because it's a big game. Seamus Coleman come out after the game, called the players out. Yeah. Carlo Ancelotti's questioned the attitude of them and the mindset of them. If you're not an Everton player who's got your back up a little bit, then for me you shouldn't be a footballer, because the minute your professionalism is called into question, which it was by your captain, then there has to be a reaction.
For me, the first thing that has to be looked at, if Aston Villa do the double over us, then we might as well just pack in. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to Aston Villa, but where they are in the league, you know, what we're going into the last 3 games of the season against Aston Villa, Sheffield United and Bournemouth, and they can all do the double over us.
Yeah,
and that to me is horrific. Yeah. That to me is horrific. A club like Everton Football Club, with the money it's spent, is just, for me, that's the embarrassing part of all this. And you're absolutely right. As fans, we deserve a reaction off these players on Thursday night. That's literally the only thing we deserve, is to see players go out there who for the last few weeks have just been going through the motions, less than the motions. Because I feel like as a professional footballer, you go through the motions, you'll at least run around a little bit and go in the direction of where the opposition's goal is. And for me, I'm not going to sit in and say, oh, Sunday was a watershed. It wasn't a watershed, because I've seen that performance a million times before. And I also understand that for some of those players, there was nothing on that game, and they're thinking about 2 weeks later when the season's over and they might be able to have a couple of weeks off. But that to me, that needs a reaction, and you're right, and it needs to come on Thursday. And it has to start with Seamus Coleman. If he starts, it has to start with him, and it has to start with him embarrassing all the other players by competing, running through brick walls, doing the job he's supposed to do as the captain. And then it has to go to the next most senior player, people like Tom Davies, if he starts the game, have to look hurt and embarrassed from how they played against Wolves. And I understand the fatigue factor comes into it, but you know what, at some point you've got to compete, you've got to get above that, because Wolves and Southampton before them played the same amount of games as us. Aston Villa have played the same amount of games as us. They played on Sunday. No question of a day's extra rest or anything else.
No excuses. No.
They'll be fighting for their lives. They'll know what they need, what they need to do. And for me, if we don't see a reaction, and a very positive reaction, then I don't know what's going to happen. But it's not great. It's not great at the moment, and I know there's a lot of reasons why and a lot of excuses why, but none of that matters. Playing at home against a team who are currently, in the bottom 3, and we should have enough to go and beat them, and that's it. That's it for me. I'm not asked if they're fighting for their lives. You said it yourself. 1 win in 10 games. That means they're not very good. That means they're coming to Goodison with a little bit of a hope. But a hope shouldn't be enough to beat us. We should have enough. and we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Whether you demonstrate whether you've got enough, isn't it? You're right, Coleman. He'll be up against Villa's best player, Jack Grealish, who plays off the left. You know, Jack Grealish is a really good footballer. Coleman's got to win that battle. It's about players winning the battles. Too many of them lost the battles on Sunday, lost the battles against Southampton. It's not good enough. It isn't good enough. The manager has got to put some players in who actually want to play. You know, let's have a look at that team. You know, could Jarrett Brantwaite start? Will Mason Holgate be back? If Holgate's back, he starts and he plays alongside probably Michael Keane. Coleman will be there. Holgate will give you the bit. Holgate wants to win. You know, and then you look into midfield where the real issues are. You know, no way on earth would Gylfi Sigurdsson be starting for me. But
then on the other side, there's no way on earth would Tom Davies be starting.
No. But then you look, but hopefully we'll have Andre Gomes back, who, you know, hasn't performed either since the lockdown. But I've said it before, I'd have Benny Beningame in there because, and again, just to reiterate to people, I'm not saying Benny Beningame is the answer, but Benny Beningame is a kid. Michael Ball, former Everton player, said that not the singer, as although he probably concurs.
He probably does.
Has said in his column that it's time to throw lads in, younger players who want to have a go. You know, if Sigurdsson doesn't want to put a tackle in, let him sit in the stand. Davies has had enough chances and hasn't taken them, so sit in the stand. You're not good enough, mate. Go and sit in the stand. You know, and say to Benny, get in there alongside Andre Gomes. You just break it up and give him the ball and let him. He's the one then that has to keep the ticking over. You know, if Walcott's playing, started on Sunday, lasted the half, was taken off. If he's playing, get up and down, show your worth something. You know, Anthony Gordon on the left hand side, get up and down, put these under pressure. You know, and then your front two, whether that be Richarlison and Moise Keane, whether it be Dom and Richarlison, whether it be Dom and Moise Keane, you know, and Richie. Me personally, for this game, I'd have Gordon on the left, Richarlison on the right, and Keane and Calvert-Lewin up front. Now, I can't make a case for Moise Keane starting because he's shown me absolutely nothing in the last few weeks. However, most of his appearances have been off the bench, and you're always asking the lad to come on and do something in a game that, in general, Everton aren't playing very well in. You know, so maybe giving him a start might boost them a little bit. I don't know. But I would go with Villa. We need a reaction. We've been too passive in every game. Every game. I think you were talking about on the final word. Every game since the lockdown seems like we've set up to nullify the opposition. Where every game before lockdown, we were going after teams. So what's the difference? Same set of players. Not like there's half a dozen players out. We've got roughly the same set of lads who finished lockdown, finished before lockdown. So I would be going after Aston Villa. Aston Villa have got some players who can hurt you. Trezeguet ain't bad. Grealish a good player.
Come off the back of a
couple of goals. So. He's a threat. Scored against us at Villa early in the season as well. I think. Was he to get the second goal? I think he did. But you know, he's a player who's got a goal in him. But Villa don't score a lot of goals, so I think we need to put them on the back foot. They're the ones with something to play for. They're the jeopardy's with them. We're trying to put a performance in. You know, we've seen Spurs come off the back of a humiliating defeat at Sheffield United against us and get into us early on and set the tempo to what we've got to do. So that for me is why, again, another reason I play Beningame. Because if you play Gordon, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin and Keane and say, we're going to push you back, Beningame and Gomes can almost sit in that midfield then, which our midfield loves to do anyway. But I think Benny can get about and break it up a little bit better than what Davies and Sigurdsson can do.
Yeah, I listen, I really hope, hopefully Mason Holgate will be back because I do think he's integral at the back now. And I think also though he helps that midfield because he has got that little bit of pace and he doesn't. It's not rigid. Whereas I think where Mina and Keane are, they're
stoppers, aren't they? Then
they're rigid plays. He's got a bit of more fluidity about him. I think that will because I don't think Mina's going to be fit.
No, I wouldn't take a chance with him anyway.
Risk him because the manager's already said there's not enough time between games. And you're right. I mean, listen, we can sit here and. You know, we haven't seen anything of Beningame, and you're absolutely right. I'm not expecting him to be the answer. He's not the answer, but he can. But surely, I think in a way, and maybe listen, Carlo Ancelotti might be too big for this in terms of the way he looks at things. But surely, if you've got the same set of players, the same 3 centre midfielders, who every game are struggling, whether it be through confidence, ability, fatigue, underlying injury or whatever, then surely you've got to look at your bench and go, there's a centre midfielder over there. He's on the bench, so therefore I trust him enough to be that extra man if I need him. Just like Jared Brandwaite was on Sunday. Soddy, I'm going to give him a go. I'm going to give him a go. And let's just see what he's got. Because you know what? Honestly, what could be worse? What does it really matter at this stage?
You can change it at half-time anyway. You can change it after. If it's not working, you can take him out. He tried Baines Sunday and took Baines off at half-time. Walcott went off at half-time. Iwobi's gone off at half-time and come on at half-time. So,
but it might be just for the sake of having some fresh legs on there. I mean. Someone who's completely fresh, who hasn't played the game yet, who for a half could get out there and just
break up
the play, give the other centre midfielder a little bit, not of a break.
No, but a bit of support.
Do something a little bit different. And I just don't see any. I think if you're willing to play someone like Gordon, if you're willing to bring on someone like Brandwaite, then I don't know why you'd be scared to put someone like Bellingham in. Because if he's on the bench, then he's got enough tactical nous to understand. He'll have been in the meetings, he'll have been in training, he'll understand the way you want to play. It's you know, for me, I just think it's the thing that actually you need to do as a manager now and again to just go,
ain't good enough.
You aren't good enough, so I'm just going to bring this lad in and we'll see what happens. And you know what? Whatever happens.
It's a mental challenge that for players. It's throwing a gauntlet down. These players have let people down for long enough, you know, haven't they? They're all probably good footballers, but what's the point? If you can't deliver, what's the point? What's the point in Tom Davies being a good footballer and got something about him if he doesn't perform? What's the point in Sigurdsson being an Icelandic international who can score from 20 yards if he's never in the game? Doesn't make... Our two midfielders on it's great point. Our two centre midfielders on Sunday didn't make a tackle, didn't do anything. They offered nothing going forward, nothing going the other way. So why should they be rewarded by playing again?
For all we know, first thing Bellingham might do is go out there and snap someone. Or, you know, a strong challenge. And then it's like, I'll do that again.
Set the tempo,
do that again.
Keep it going.
Do that again. That's what Garner used to do. I mean, Garner was great, but you know what I mean? Garner used to just go, I'll go and kick him. I'll go and kick him. I'll go and kick him. I'll go and kick him.
You break the play up.
Yeah.
And you make them think that they haven't got time on the ball.
And then the next person might be like, I might go and do that. I need to get into him. I need to get in, you know.
Sometimes as a manager, listen, Carlo Ancelotti's won everything, so I'm not trying to tell him how to do his job. But you've seen evidence of this with other managers in the past. To get a reaction out of players, you do have to throw someone in and go, look, you're an international, but I'm preferring this kid over you because your performances have been garbage, absolutely garbage. And it might be a kick up the backside they need. They might not care, you know, but we care as fans. And I think I'd rather see Benny Beningame running around the pitch trying to do his best for Everton Football Club than watching Gylfi Sigurdsson walk around pointing, or Tom Davies kicking a ball out under no pressure, or Andre Gomes at times thinking he's got 3 hours on the ball and just getting the ball taken off him. You know, I want Alex Iwobi, who's quite clearly a talented footballer, jogging around the football pitch. I want to see players who it matters to wear the shirt of Everton Football Club. There's nothing on this now other than a bit of pride. Yeah. And we have to go out and we have to make it uncomfortable for Aston Villa, and we have to go, hang on a sec, whoa. You're in the bottom 3 and we're Everton Football Club and we're trying to get towards the top, you know, up the top end of the table allegedly. And then let's go and do it then, let's go and prove it. Not we're Everton, we'll beat you, we don't have to try. We have to go and fight and scrap the same as they do. Earn the right to play football. We've got lads at the top end of the pitch. If we create chances, we'll score goals. We don't create chances, we can't expect them to score goals.
Yeah. They've got to do a bit more as well up top. They've got to go
get involved,
looking for the ball a little bit, getting involved. Richarlison's got to go, and if he can't get it, he's got to go looking. But then we've got to, at times, just go long to them as well. Get Dom in the game, get him,
and get people around them,
winning a couple of headers, knockdowns, and then getting people around, getting up the pitch. You know, Theo Walcott, get on the ball and try and get up the pitch with it. Just get us up the pitch. You know, it doesn't take a genius to tell why we're struggling. It's because we don't move the ball through midfield. We don't have a player who runs with it, who gets us high up the pitch. You know, and then maybe gives, you know, I don't think Gylfi Sigurdsson would be as bad as if he had, I know it's been terrible and I'm not making an excuse for him, but if he had someone next to him who run the ball up 30 yards and got it to the edge of the box and then got it into Gylfi's feet and then suddenly, because that's basically what happened last year, or, you know, then Gylfi's got the ball on the edge of the box and suddenly he's got the ability to shoot or the ability to find the pass or whatever. That's the difference. Gylfi Sigurdsson used to sit on the edge of the box when he was like a number 10. That's when he was at his best. That, you know, so we've got these players, but we don't have anyone, we don't have any way of getting up the pitch. So let's start making it easy and getting up the pitch by just lumping it up the pitch, letting Dom win it, and then everyone else get on the knockdowns.
That's why if you played with Gordon, Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Moise Keane, say for argument's sake, you can go a little bit more direct because then you've got three other lads who are buzzing around and then they have to defend. You know, they played a 4-5-1 on Sunday against Palace at time, you know, with the two wide men, Trezeguet and Grealish, making it a 4-3-3 when they're attacking, but essentially a 4-5-1. Let's force them back. Let's force them to have to defend on the edge of their box.
Do that.
Everton Villa, the most played English top flight fixture. Villa have won 74. Everton have won 76 and there's been 53 draws. Villa looking to secure their first league double over Everton since 2001 season. Everton v Villa will be the 7th Premier League fixture to have been played on all 7 days of the week.
Craig David will be happy.
I mean, interesting. Yeah, first win in 10 after last time. Villa, oh no, I'm not reading that one. Jinx. Villa have faced 582 shots in the Premier League this season, 49 more than any other team. And before the enforced break, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored 8 goals in 11 Premier League games, but he's yet to find the net in 6 games since the restart, despite having more shots than any other Everton player with 16. He needs a goal.
He does.
He needs a goal ASAP.
He does. But he does.
And we need a win.
We do.
They need a win, but we need a win.
No, we do need a win for a bit of confidence and just to get the fans and a bit more optimism towards the end of the season. There you go. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think this is one we can win? Do you expect us to win?
I think expecting us to win is a bit,
bit
far-fetched.
Always a little bit too far. And and what would it mean if Villa did do the double over us?
It mean they'd be a great position to stay up, is what it mean.
It would. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want more great videos, live daily videos, podcasts, a Discord forum, special interviews, original ideas. Get over and join us on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. See you later.